Yes, indeed. Welcome into another episode of Total Hockey Now here on the Total Hockey Now YouTube channel. That over there is at Fuzzy Chris 91, Christopher Merez. I am at Pucking Thoughts, Adam Bernard, at Ant Rivera 86 on assignment. I guess we'll say, getting ready, getting the house ready for the first Christmas with the kid. Good for him. And then also it hasn't been all that quiet in Mets land lately either. So.
Yeah, have the Mets been losing players? Is that what I understand?
Like a sieve, I guess, is the best way to describe it. Nonetheless, also big game in the NFL tonight, Rams Seahawks. So as much as I'll be watching the hockey on Thursday, I will be flipping back and forth to Amazon Prime on that one, though. But a lot to get to today. We're going to build Team Canada's roster. We've done Team USA. We've done Finland and Sweden. Sorry, other countries, but these are like the NHL dominant teams, and unfortunately, no Team Russia. Although maybe we'll do that for a segment. A hypothetical Russian Olympic hockey team might be a fun one to do later on. But nonetheless, we also want to talk a little Vezina Trophy odds. Because like when you look at the awards picture, Hart Trophy's McKinnon versus the field. Calder right now is basically Schaefer versus the field. Norris, Makar pretty much versus the field. So like Vezina is the only one that's kind of wide open right now. So we'll dive into that in a second. But first, just wanted to talk about, Quinn Hughes. He gets traded shortly after we got off the air last week. I know you covered that over at the Slapshot podcast. So make sure you check that out for Chris's main thoughts on that. Just for me, though, to me, it's kind of cool that we have like the Central Division is now the home of like the premier defenseman, Makar, Quinn Hughes, Roman Yossi. I mean, I know Mikhail Sergachev, Morrissey, and Heiskanen are like that second tier, but for one division to have all those top tier defensemen, that's pretty solid.
Absolutely. Listen, massive W's to Bill Guerin for just being like, hey, this is my best offer. I'm giving you everything you want. When you chalk it up, it's basically 4 first-round picks. That was the cost to acquire arguably the second best defenseman in the NHL, right? From a fantasy perspective, from just overall as well. I don't think anybody will disagree that it's Cale Makar and then somebody else. But everybody was kind of set on him going to Jersey for the obvious reasons, and Bill Guerin's like, not on my watch. They go out, they get a defenseman, a true quarterback now of the top unit. He will immediately make everybody else on that team better. He will immediately make the defense group a lot better. They paid, the price that they needed to pay, right? You move a young centerman, Zev Buyam, obviously, I mean, we've loved him here, and now he's going to get a true opportunity to quarterback a top unit.
And fits that timeline a little bit better in Vancouver than it does in Minnesota.
Absolutely. Listen, the Vancouver Canucks they're going through a full rebuild here. They need to shake it up completely. So they seem to be embarking on that voyage. Minnesota has to keep pace with the Colorado Avalanche. So going to get the second best defenseman. And now they have 18 months to convince them that, hockey in Minnesota is a great place to want to be. And, Quinn said he was not close to the idea of signing there. And he respects how much Bill Guerin paid to have him be there. So, just not a great time if you're a Jersey fan. That's what I understand.
Well, I mean, and what I like about this too is it takes some of the pressure off Brock Faber to be like the guy who's got to handle like the puck moving top power play stuff. He kind of gets to, be the second best defenseman on the team now, essentially. And, that was the next thing I wanted to get to. It's like, this is not necessarily he's staying in Minnesota. This could be a Mikko Rantanen situation where Minnesota doesn't sense anything is close at the deadline. Now, maybe he ends up loving the state of Minnesota. It is the only state of the country where hockey is truly the way Texas is high school football is in Texas, high school hockey is like that in Minnesota. I would say if they have to flip him at the deadline again, they would certainly get quite the package for him. So maybe the Devils can work some stuff out before them. But it's my understanding that they've got so many no movement and no trade clauses to deal with on that roster that it made it pretty much impossible. Even though they had a package ready, if Seamus Casey, Dawson Mercer, a couple other things that, yeah, maybe it's not as good as the Minnesota package, but it was something to think about, or something that maybe, okay, we're almost there. We just got to, maybe tip the scales a tiny bit more. But
The
they don't
package,
have
it
flexibility
just
to
still
do that.
wasn't. It still wasn't good enough. Like
No.
I know the delusion and Devil's Land is there. I think maybe they just got a little bit overconfidence. Everybody does have some type of no move clause. I think there's a total of like 11 or 12 players, and like again, there's just you can't be giving out that many no trade clauses. I feel like that's an NHL thing as well. Every player gets a no movement clause or some type of thing to make business hard. And you can't fault the player when he exercises that right. He negotiated it, in fair. Blame the guy who gave it to him, right? Makes what you're trying to achieve a lot harder. But again, I feel like the Devils kind of felt like they had it in there. And listen, we're all talking about the two of them, Quinn joining, Luke and Jack. I mean, who says Luke and Jack don't say, you know what, it's not working out here with the Devils? Maybe not for Luke because, he is an RFA. He's got a little bit of time to go, but Jack's next contract is a UFA. And, if it's not working there, I hear Minnesota is a great place to play hockey. So
And that's the thing. Like, that's the flip side of it too. Is it's like everyone's like, okay, the Hughes brothers are just going to all get together in Jersey and they're going to play their career at Newark out at the Prudential Center. Um, maybe it goes, just like we all assume. Maybe McDavid's a lifelong Oiler. I don't know. We'll see what happens here when that 2-year deal is up, or at least going into that final year. So yeah, I think it's not, like I said, it was a great move for Minnesota. They have a couple of months here to, kind of convince them like, hey, this is the place you want to be and the place where you get a chance. Now, it's going to be an interesting way to pitch somebody like, hey, you can win the Stanley Cup here in the same division with Colorado and Dallas. Oh, that's going to be the pitch. So how they're going to, and with the way the playoff format is too, you got to go through that the first 2 years pretty much.
I hate that playoff format. I hate Gary.
So do I. I think it had good intentions in the beginning, but it hasn't worked out the way they thought, and they need to just go back to 2 division winners, get your 1-2 spots, and then everything else is wide open after that. And there's no reason you can't. You could still split everybody into 16-16 and have everybody where they want to be geographically for the most part. Other couple things to get to quick before we get to the Vezina Trophy here. Congrats to Leon Draisaitl on reaching 1,000 points. And Tristan Jarry, Stuart Skinner trade. This is a true change of scenery here. We'll see how it goes for both guys. Again, this is really a change of scenery thing. It was, like I joked around online with somebody like, I'll trade you these 6 eggs for half a dozen of your eggs. And that's basically how it worked out. But, hey, we'll see.
Listen, teams that don't perform or bad teams it's usually bad management. And Stan Bowman, I feel like it's taking candy from a baby. And good on Kyle Dubas for spotting that. 12 months ago, you could have gotten Tristan Jarry for free. Now I understand there's money and things that needed to be worked out and stuff like that. Sure. But I don't think it was Brett Kulak that was, tilting the scale one way or another. You know what I mean? Like,
just help fill out that blue line a little bit. He's helpful there, but
sure. But if it was a money thing, you could have just put him on way. You know what I mean? Like, there are ways around whatever you got to do to get done. Instead, now they acquire Tristan Jarry, which again, I am of the same opinion here. You're moving goalies, 6 extra, half a dozen, exactly like there. I'll give you $1, you give me 4 quarters. We'll see if it works. But in a sense here for Kyle Dubas, he gets 2 assets. He gets the draft pick, which I understand is like a million years away. It's in 2029, but you still acquired an asset. You get Brett Kulak, who is a pending UFA as well, who could become an asset. And if you're not bent on keeping Skinner, right? Like, let's say, I don't know, the Penguins come back down to earth. They go on a losing streak. They don't look like a team that can make the playoffs. You can flip him at the deadline to somebody else who needs a backup goalie.
Teams are always desperate for a goalie, even if it's a backup.
So you basically got 3 assets. You moved on as well from Tristan Jarry. He still has 2 years left on that deal. So, I mean, I don't know what Stan Bowman is doing, but if his belief is that Tristan Jarry is a lot better than Stuart Skinner, and that's what he needs to get over the hump. Again, man, I have a beachfront property in Saskatchewan with your name on it because the one area they refuse to really address is their blue line. That is where most of the problems happen. They're starting to get healthy. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is back. Zach Hyman is back. That obviously is going to help their depth a little bit. Kind of fits everybody else. So the bottom six is not producing the way it should. But, it's the Oilers. We understand how this team operates. McDavid is getting hot at about the right time. He can drag this team to wherever they need to be. The same thing with, Leon Draisaitl. Everything goes through that. But they need help on the blue line. And we'll see what Tristan Jarry can do, but he's gonna find out that the defense that the Pittsburgh Penguins were playing this year is not the same defense that's over there in Edmonton. He's gonna get introduced to Evan Bouchard and his turnovers pretty quick.
I will say this, and it's not to credit the Oilers, because I mean the situation is they're hamstrung by the fact, like a Darnell Nurse contract really hampers their ability to improve their blue line. And we've talked about their goaltending being a problem forever. He didn't have many options. He knew he had to shake something up. He made the effort to shake it up. It might be Tristan Jarry, but all we say on here on Total Hockey Now, and you see it online, and all these, they got to do something about the goal. Well, they have limited options on what they could do. There isn't going to be an earth-shattering trade to bring in somebody on the. That was what was available. They're trying it, and you got to at least give credit for okay, there's a problem here. Let's shake it up a little bit. Let's throw it in the blender. Let's see what happens.
You're nicer. You're nice. You're nicer than I am.
It's better than sitting there and banging your head against the wall with the Skinner Pickard combo that still isn't working. I'm not saying Jarry's. You got to at least try. If you know something's got to be changed or shaken up, that was what they were limited to. Now, talking goalies here, may as well get into a little Vezina Trophy odds, because, like we said, this is one of the more wide open fields right now, and this is the current odds, or at least as of last night when I made the graphic. Logan Thompson currently a favorite at plus 200. These are courtesy of FanDuel. Ilya Sorokin plus 300. Spencer Knight plus 800. Andrei Vasilevsky, who should be returning to the lineup tonight, plus 950. Jeremy Swayman is 10-1. Hellebuck and Shesterkin and Jesper Wallstead 14-1. Two of those names we thought would be at the top of the list at this point. Not the case. Scott Wedgwood 33-1. Jake Ottinger 33-1. Mackenzie Blackwood 40-1. Lucas Dostal 50-1. Darcy Kemper 65-1. Brandon Bussey is 80-1. Sergei Bobrovsky, Jet Greaves 100-1. Lena Somark 150-1. And Yaroslav Askarov 150-1. There's other guys in that range too, but I just cherry picked a few names for some of those longer shots there. For me, when I look at this, Logan Thompson doesn't feel like a Vezina Trophy winner. You know what I mean? It's just maybe a gold medal backstopping Canada will, sparkle up that resume a little bit more. We're going to get to the Team Canada roster projections here in about 5 minutes. But he just doesn't, the Capitals kind of get overlooked. To me, if I was going to pick somebody on the left, yes, Connor Hellebuck can still, rally and take the award if he comes back and all of a sudden Winnipeg starts winning and hangs with the top teams in that division. The Rangers all of a sudden start figuring out a way to score at home and give Shesterkin goal support. Maybe he could rally, but the guy on the left I'm looking at is Vasilevsky at plus 950.
Yeah, that's pretty good value there. You know exactly what you're getting from Andrei Vasilevsky, right? He's dealt with a little bit of couple of injuries here and there that's slowed him down. The two players that really strike me here with a lot more, Jeremy Swayman being one. The Boston Bruins are a surprising team, I would say. They're getting the results. It's not perfect all the time, but Swayman's been a big part of that. Their offense is what it is, but Swayman has been really good. And I think he can be, if he can continue to string this together, help his team get to the top, continue to put up some pretty good numbers, he can at least challenge Logan Thompson for that spot. The other player I would get, and again, 14-1, just absolute wild here. Igor Shesterkin needs more credit. He's keeping this team afloat, at least no matter where. Yeah, listen, no matter where they are, Igor Shesterkin plays well. He plays well at home. He's even better on the road, but the whole team is better on the road. So there's definitely value there. He's going to be the workhorse of the Rangers. They go as far as he goes, right? If the offense can't score, that means you're going to play a lot of close games. You cannot give up goals, right? You're just basically you're your back's up against the wall every time. I did think it was interesting to see Scott Wedgwood at 33-1. The only reason I don't think he has a legitimate chance, he's probably going to split starts with Blackwood.
The Avalanche goalies cancel each other out. To me, they're not even a consideration.
They do. They cancel each other out. It just, like, unfortunately for them, it's going to be a thing where people look at the Colorado Avalanche and go, well, look how dominant they are, both offensively and defensively. It's the same thing for Wallstead there. I mean, he's just not going to play enough with Philip Gustafsson there. You could run both of them, and it kind of hinders a little bit of their opportunities. I think Ilya Sorokin is a candidate to probably win it if he could keep the Islanders where they are, push them for maybe if they get one of those top 3 division spots. Just plus 300 doesn't seem like that great of a value, which again is probably fair because he has been good. Spencer Knight was the other one, but I mean, if Chicago isn't, like, Chicago would be a lot worse without him, but I feel like sometimes the voters take into consideration if your team makes the playoffs, which I think is irrelevant. But Spencer Knight has definitely played his way into the conversation. It's just, he's not going to get a look because he's in Chicago.
It's going to be interesting to see who gets that last goaltending spot for Team USA between Swayman and Knight, because Hellebuck and Ottinger, 1-2. Now, speaking of Ottinger, 33-1, he's on that right side. I mean, I know Dallas maybe down the stretch, and they've got a good team in front of them, so maybe that hurts Ottinger a little bit, and they'll probably end up not splitting starts, but down the stretch, they'll give DeSmith a little bit more of the workload to try and keep Jake fresh for the playoffs. But looking on the right side, if Brandon Bussey is 11-1, I think was going into last night's game, 80-1 on a good team. Nobody's gonna, be like, oh, we got to play Freddie Anderson. Oh, we got to play Kochetkov. Like, maybe he, with the way Matthew Schaefer's playing, it might be tough for a guy like Bussey to get the Calder, but at 80-1 on a really good team, the way he's playing, if he continues to play close to this level, I would look at that.
He has to start more games. And the minute that, the problem for the Carolina Hurricanes is that they're winning games. So that's like the Freddie Anderson experience. I think we can all agree that needs to end. And the quicker it ends, the better the Hurricanes are going to be. I think this comes down to a kind of Kochetkov Bussey kind of split a little bit. And unfortunately, the 3 goalie rotation does, it's not good for any of the goalies. It's not good for the team. Nobody wants to do it, but Bussey needs to start more. Maybe he fizzles out a little bit, but the run that he is on is exceptional. And yes, he's playing in front of a very good team. I get it, but so is Freddie Anderson. So at some point, you have to give the player credit, and just the way he got there as well, right? Guy nobody really wanted, waiver pickup because they needed somebody, and here he is. That Bussey, by the way, his addition doesn't happen without the Toronto Maple Leafs claiming Caden Primo. So think about how the Maple Leafs, through all the faults that they have, that's how Brandon Bussey gets there. Imagine it goes the other way. Let's say the Leafs don't claim him, and then I don't know, they need somebody to get in the crease there, and Bussey in Toronto may have given the Leafs the jolt that they need. But
if he went to Toronto, yeah, now those Vezina odds shorten real quick the way he's playing lately in that market. But also looking at that side, like Lucas Dostal, I think that's more of a Joel Quenneville Coach of the Year situation in Anaheim, because they did make some upgrades. And yes, Dostal's playing much better. He's playing really well. He is the number 1 guy there. Mrazek and Husso can figure out who the backup is between the two of them. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, Vasilevsky's probably the one that's probably my favorite on the list there. As much, and I know I came into the year, I was banging the drum for Igor Shesterkin to win the Vezina, and that's still very possible. But until the Rangers figure out how to score goals at home, that's not happening.
They may never figure it out.
Well, they are on the road tonight. We'll get to our picks for that slate a little bit later. Now, the moment Chris gets to build the Team Canada roster here, and we're going to do this together. You could go back and watch our previous episodes. I also have the video separate for all the roster constructions there. Let's do a little Team Canada here, building this one out. Let's see what we got here. Whoops, wrong one. Go. There we go. I got to get the StreamYard layouts arranged better. Nonetheless, So we like to build down the middle, of course. And, this is one of those teams like, all right, well, McKinnon, Crosby, McDavid. Where are we slotting everybody here to start?
So the way I've envisioned this, if I was John Cooper, is obviously I would have McDavid center the top line, and
Okay.
then I would have Crosby center the second line. I would play McKinnon on the wing. That's
Buddy or McDavid?
with McDavid. I can you imagine? Well, I mean, I can because I've seen it. But McDavid and McKinnon on one line with that amount of speed is just I don't know how you like pick your poison. Which one? Which one do you want to burn you in real time? The only slight downside, of course, they're both players who like to control the puck, zone entries, but I think they can figure it out. I think those are two of the most elite players. They'll get it done.
So you wouldn't do McDavid, McKinnon, and move Crosby to the wing with McKinnon?
I want Crosby to play center because that's where he's comfortable, right? Sid's played center now for the better part of a million years, right? McKinnon did play a little bit of wing when he was in junior. I know this is 100 million years ago when he played with Drouin. So he can do it. He's done it. We've seen him do it, right, at the Four Nations as well. So it's something that he's comfortable with. It still gives him the opportunity to, speed. If my memory serves me correct, I believe McKinnon's a right-handed shot. So, like, McDavid is a lefty. You have McKinnon as a righty. They can alternate face-off sides, right?
That's
It's
true.
not, right? So, like, it's kind of those things, right? The same way I'm pretty sure Draisaitl's a righty as well. So, like, they alternate sides on the face-off when they play together. To me, I just feel like that's how you want to deploy them. And then let Crosby center his own line. That's his.
All right. So let me get my let me pull people off my list here as we go along. So we got 3 right off the bat there. All right. So are we going to try and finish off the top line, or are we going to try and build down the middle here? Which way are we going next?
Let's do right wing here. Let's just plug Sam Reinhart in here with the big boys. Somebody's got to find the back of the net, right? Not that those two can't, but like Sam Reinhart can score goals. And he's good defensively as well. Not that line's going to need to worry about being good defensively. Their best defense is being in the offensive zone. And again, this probably changes. I at first I had someone like Mitch Marner on that top line, which can work out as well. If you want, you move Reinhart down with Crosby. There's so many combinations, and there's no wrong answer. I have Mitch Marner on that second line with Crosby to start. Just another good passer, another good guy who can open up everything. We know that Sidney Crosby can score. He can, pass the puck as well. And then by default, I put Brayden Point on that second line. Brayden Point has scored 50. So he knows how to get the puck into the back of the net. I know he hasn't done it much.
He's having a down year.
He's having a down year, which is okay. But nothing is Sidney Crosby and a Mitch Marner can't. Like, Mitch Marner is not there to shoot the puck, but he's an elite passer. Right? Ask Austin Matthews how he feels. So, I mean, having Brayden Point there, again, another player you can just swap in and out with Crosby if you want them to take, different face-offs and whatnot. That's perfectly fine.
No
You could
Mark
also
Stone there.
I'm sorry?
No Mark Stone there on the wing?
Mark Stone, listen, Mark Stone, I've thought about it, playing Stone on the left, moving Point in the middle. Because the third line that I've concocted together here consists of 2 children and an old man. So I have Celebrini in the middle.
Oh, there we go.
And then I have Connor Bedard on the left side. Right? I know he's a right-hand shot. Left side, doesn't matter. Right? That one-timer shot. And then I have Mark Stone there. Mark Stone can score goals. He can pass the puck. But you need somebody with a little bit of defensive knowledge on that line. I'm not saying Celebrini and Bedard can't, but that, to me, successful teams that win Stanley Cups and that win tournaments have third lines that can dominate. And listen, Celebrini has earned his right to be on this team. He's already he's up to 50 points. You leave him off this team, you're basically saying it doesn't matter. I will live with whatever defensive, capabilities he doesn't have yet if he's out there doing what he's doing.
I think Celebrini has a spot on this team, and I'm not saying Bedard shouldn't have a spot on this team, but Celebrini to me has a more solidified spot than Bedard on the squad.
Fair. And
I mean,
again, you can move point down. You know, the problem is like, can you can put Mark Stone and Mitch Marner. They have a little bit of, you know, they have that chemistry there if you want. I just feel like this line here, there's Celebrini who can score, great passer. Mark Stone, very, very smart. You need somebody who's going to go in there and get the puck. Celebrini and Bedard are not necessarily the biggest guys here. Little bit of veteran presence on that line. Help them out a little bit. Let the two kids score. Mark Stone could be the guy who goes to the net, right? Understand your role. You know what I mean? Like, listen, this is the Olympics. You're going to have to get on board with whatever role you can carve out to be here.
All right. So we're through 3 lines here. Now you need that 4th line. You need that shutdown line. So what are we going to do here with that?
So since we're talking about shutdown, we're going to put Nick Suzuki there because he is a center. Like Suzuki, you could have played him with Celebrini and stuff like that, sure, but I didn't want to start.
He's better served as a center in this scenario.
He's better served as a center. Nick Suzuki can understand the role that he needs to play. He has killed penalties for the Canadians. He plays 21 minutes a night. He's a great passer. He's smart. You can deploy him in yes, it's going to be limited roles, but you don't have to worry about him out there. It doesn't matter who he plays. Right? That's kind of what you're looking for. Guys who you can trust in all situations. Nick Suzuki brings it. Then I need a little bit of, tough here. Brad Marchand is coming.
He's got to be here.
Listen, right. I can't like old man Marchand and that, you could put him on that top line. That second line with Crosby and Marner, but he was effective when he was playing with Sam Bennett, right, for Canada on that 4th line, and they carved it out. So Marchand doesn't have to be the guy here. He knows what his role is. He knows what he has to do, right? He's just going to get under your skin. He's good defensively as well. He's played it. And then it's Brandon Hagel for me. Same type of thing. Energy guy. Yes, he knows how to score, but again, you can trust him defensively as well. And again, depending on the combinations that you want to bring, if you're moving point into the middle, you want him to play with Hagel because there's that familiarity, sure. But at the same time, listen, a Marchand, Suzuki, and Hagel line, there's a lot of grit there, and there's a smart centerman. So I'll take it. Guys who can play well in their own zone, trusted all around the ice. You don't have to explain to John Cooper how it works, right? He gets it. He's like, fine, these guys can do the work. So that's how I've built my forward group here. In the extras and the 2 extra forwards I'm bringing, I've been convinced of it. I have the more I look at it, the more it makes sense.
I know what you're gonna say.
Tom Wilson.
I know.
I know. Tom Wilson to me plays against the United States. That's where you can use him, right? He has the offensive ability, right? But he has to be out there. And maybe he's a guy who cycles in, for Brandon Hagel. I don't know if Cooper would really do that there or, somebody else. Maybe it's Bedard who finds himself as the odd man out every once in a while. I don't know. But Tom Wilson has the physicality. You imagine a line with Marchand and Tom Wilson on the other side. That's causing some havoc, right? So I think Tom Wilson can come. The only thing is, listen, international referees, that's what's coming to the IOC. They are as black and white as possible. So Tom Wilson's got to figure out a way to deliver hits and not get suspended because again, the IOC is perfectly fine with handing out a 5-minute major and a 10-minute misconduct for something that Tom Wilson does. So he's got to figure out. The last one here, there's been a lot of disrespect around this man, and I'm here to clarify that. Seth Jarvis is coming.
I was going to say, because he's a Swiss Army guy that can play all the spots. You need somebody like that.
You need somebody there. And I understand, because all of a sudden, here come Islander fans be like, what about Bo Horvat? Here comes
he's having a year. And
he's having a year. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Listen, Bo Horvat is playing out of his mind. Mark Scheifele's having a good year. But I need a guy who can do a little bit of everything. Seth Jarvis can do that. He has played center. That's not where I need him. He can play both sides of the wing. He is reliable defensively. He is all like, he's what, just shy of, I think, 20 goals. Like, he can do everything well. Yes, he didn't play in the gold medal game, but it's, again, through no fault of his own. These are some of the most elite players in the world. But Seth Jarvis is there. If one of those players were to get a little bit banged up, they can't go, or you need a little bit more responsibility, you can put Seth Jarvis on any one of those lines and get production out of him. That's what I want, Seth Jarvis. I can't get that from Bo Horvat, and I can't get that from Mark Scheifele, but I can get that from Seth Jarvis. If you need him to kill penalties, he can do it. There's a whole mess of things that he can do it. So I am a Seth Jarvis defender. He is coming.
I have no problem with Jarvis and Wilson being the extras. The only tweak I would make to the forwards here is I would probably swap Celebrini and Point, but Celebrini on the left side with Crosby, have Point be down the middle. That's the only change I'd really make here.
The only reason I did is because you probably want Sidney Crosby and Mitch Marner to play against the best players. So now you're asking Celebrini to have those tough matchups, right? He's got to watch, the Austin Matthews of the world, right? And those top line players that are just going to, they're elite and they'll burn you as quickly as Celebrini can burn you. So I was trying to find some space for him and say, hey, you don't have to play. I mean, it's subjective. You're the best players every night, right? Like, I get it.
You can build a whole second team Canada.
You can, but you can maybe just get a little bit of freedom for him, so he's not having to play like the top pairings every night. There's only so many players to go around, so maybe you ease him out a little bit. Maybe you give Celebrini, maybe that's more second power play unit time and just ease them in. But I was just trying to find some space for the homie, who I found out today has a younger brother who is playing in, I think it's the U16 or something.
I was talking to him like, you're coming next kind of thing.
And I'm like, there's another Celebrini. Like, okay, well, I guess we got to, tank for whenever he's draft eligible.
So we got picks coming up here in a couple of minutes. We're going to speed things up a little bit. I already put together the top pairing for Canada. We know it's Taves and Makar. Like, put it in. No reason in talking about it. Who do we got here on the second pairing here? Is this a Josh Morrissey, Thomas Harley kind of situation?
Josh Morrissey, definitely. Colton Parenko, right? Big body, guy who plays well, shut down. Nothing wrong with bringing him here. On the third pairing here, I have been convinced of it. Like, there's not a ton of elite Canadian defensemen, but Shea Theodore and Drew Doughty. Drew Doughty is an old man, but
no Evan Bouchard here.
No Evan Bouchard. Listen, I don't need Evan. Where is Evan Bouchard going to play? He's not going to quarterback a top unit, right? The top power play unit is Cale Makar's unit. So, and the second unit which will play sparingly, right? I'm guessing is Josh Morrissey's unit. So what am I using Evan Bouchard for? Like, it's not his defensive skills. I'm not bringing him to play defense. And if he's not getting an opportunity to play on the top power play unit, he's more of a liability than anything else.
I just can't believe you're recommending Drew Doughty after you were like beating.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
But for nations,
I don't. But do I trust Drew Doughty late in a game over Evan Bouchard? 100%. And Drew Doughty can play, his 15 minutes, play it well, get the puck out, block shots. That's what I'm going with. All
right. We got our forward. Who's going to be the spare defenseman now? Looking on the list that I have got here, is that a Thomas Harley situation? Did Matthew Schaefer play his way on? Do we want a Mackenzie Weegar, Travis Sanheim? What are we looking at?
Thomas Harley for sure. I know it's been a down year, but if he's the 7th or 8th / defenseman, that's fine. He stepped in at Four Nations and was really good. Maybe this is what he needs, get a little bit back. I am bringing Matthew Schaefer. I'm bringing Shave Daddy. He may not play, right? Or he'll be sheltered, but he's proven that he can play in the NHL. So, and in sheltered minutes, sure. Or maybe at least have him be there for the experience, right?
So maybe he's the guy the next Olympics.
Yeah, but you know what?
International tournament.
If I'm bringing Mackenzie Weegar, who was having an absolutely disastrous season, right? I already have that. I already have that in Thomas Harley. So I'm banking on him having a better opportunity, right? I'll bring Schaefer and see what you get out of it. The skill is there. It's he's got to skate. He's got to do what he's got to do.
All right. So we got the blue line though. Logan Thompson's a starter at this point. Like, he's a Vezina favorite at this point. Like, there's no point even debating that. Now it gets interesting. Is it Binnington? Is it Scott Wedgwood? Is it Mackenzie Blackwood? Is it Darcy Kemper? Who are you going to be? I think you have to take Binnington at this point just because of what he did at Four Nations. Even if he's your third goalie, you got to bring him. And because your options are limited. So who's not getting that last spot? Or would you rather just bring both Avalanche goalies and call it a day? Which I'm sure Joe Sakic would not be thrilled about, but nonetheless.
I like before Darcy Kemper got ran over by Mikko Rantanen again, was turned into prime Tom Wilson. I had Mackenzie Blackwood on this list and Kemper. I'm going to assume Kemper's not healthy enough to make it. So I guess you bring Jordan Binnington, right? But I don't want to, because like he's not even the best goalie on his team. Like he's like Joel Holford started more games over in the last 10 than Binnington has. So what am I getting out of Binnington? Like
All right.
what is like I would have no problem being Blackwood and Wedgwood. Give me 2 Woods and a Thompson, and I'm okay with it.
I think just because Binnington's been on this team, I think this is Binnington's last international team, last time on Canada's team. I think you have to bring him regardless of performance this year. And yeah, I think you bring Mackenzie Blackwood as the other one. Like you said, if Darcy Kemper if he was healthy, he gets that spot. But now you take Blackwood instead. So there you go. There's Team Canada's roster. Tell us what we got right. Tell us what we got wrong. You can find this online or totalhockeynow@gmail.com. Now, it is time to do what we love to do here on Thursday afternoons. And let's get to picking some hockey. All right, so here we go. We are we're running the board tonight, going through. It's a 10-game Thursday here in the NHL. First up on the docket, the Oilers at the Bruins, 7:00 Eastern. And before we actually get that, let's talk about our records from last week because we both did really well. 5-3 for myself, but 8-2 for that man over there. So 39-34 in the season for me, 31-29. Chris, it's back over 500. Let's see if we can keep it there. Oilers at Bruins, like I said, this is gonna be Tristan Jarry versus Jeremy Swayman. Connor McDavid, 7-game point streak, 9 goals and 11 assists during that run. Edmonton's taken 5 of their last 7, which include the 35 goals scored during that stretch. Boston does have a 4-game home winning streak, 10 of 11 on the penalty kill during that stretch. You're going to notice a pattern about being really good on the penalty kill and having won a lot of games as we run through this and talk about some of the trends here. For me, I've got no play on this one. I don't know which. This is one I just really don't have anything on. Money line play here, Edmonton Oilers -135, road favorites, Bruins +114, home dogs, total 6.5. Do you have anything here, sir?
I do not. This is too close, man. The Bruins are a good team at home. The Oilers are not. Like they spanked the Leafs and then they went into the Bell Center and couldn't figure it out. So like, yes, they went into Pittsburgh, but that was McDavid understanding, across from him who his former teammate was a week ago and able to burn him. I don't know. I can't get a good read on it, so I'm much rather spend my money elsewhere.
Yeah, of the 10 games tonight, there are 7 that I have leans or plays on, but this was one of them. When I looked at it, I was like, I got nothing here. So because we haven't provided you with a pick for this game, here we go. On to number 2 of the night. Penguins at Senators. I got 2 plays for this one. It's going to be Artur Shilovs versus Linus Ullmark. Penguins are on a 6-game winless streak. Crosby needs 1 point to tie Mario Lemieux for the all-time franchise lead in Pittsburgh. Tim Stützle has a 4-game point streak going, 4 goals, 5 assists. So him and Connor McDavid red hot right now. I got 2. I'm taking the over 6.5 here because goaltending matchup. I don't trust Shilovs lately. Ullmark's a little bit better, but whatever. And I'm also going to take the Penguins on the money line here, +145. I found it at. Listen, Ottawa's not setting the world on fire lately either. I know they've gotten a couple of wins lately, but that was over the Blue Jackets, who haven't been playing well, and a Connor Hellebuck-less Winnipeg Jets. They haven't won a game otherwise since Montreal on December 2nd. I think this is a decent bounce back spot here. The over and the Penguins on the money line.
I don't believe in the Penguins money line enough because I don't believe in Artur Shilovs, but I'm right there with you with the over, though. That's right. We're going to see goals in this game. Shilovs is not great. Linus Ullmark he's a ticking time bomb, man. That's the definition of a love-hate relationship. Watching Linus Ullmark play hockey will add a couple gray hairs to you.
Right now, the over at 6.5 is -102 at DraftKings. Under is -118. Ottawa minus 166 money line favorites. I don't think they deserve that much respect, despite
No.
the Penguins' struggles. Like, to me, that's silly. Moving down the board next, we got the Kings at the Lightning. Another 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop here. Lightning minus 205 on the money line. Kings plus 170. Road Dogs total 5.5. Kings are on a 4-game winless streak. Tampa Bay's got a 3-game home losing streak, which they are 1 for 13 on the power play during that stretch. Now, it's probably going to be Phoenix Copley going tonight since Forsberg went last night, and we discussed the injury earlier to Darcy Kemper. But looking for the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight. The last-second refresh here. Still unconfirmed, but it looks like we could probably assume he's going to be back since he's skating and stuff. So I'm going to go with the under here at even money, under 5.5. That's a big boost if Vasi's back. This is a team, the Kings, that struggle to score. They're the 5th worst average goals kicked per game. They just played the Panthers last night. They're only got 2 against Tarasov. Also, outside of the 2 recent games against Montreal and New Jersey, Tampa Bay has struggled to score themselves over the last 8. The Kings tend to be stingy in the goals department overall, so I think we're looking at a low-scoring affair tonight.
Man, I can't get behind Phoenix Copley. This just doesn't sound like something I want to do. I will take the Lightning, but in regulation. The money line way too juiced there. Kings are playing their 2nd game in as many nights. The only reason that game was close was because of a freak puck that goes off Kevin Fiala's leg and into the net to make it 3-2. If not, Florida seemed to be controlling that play there. Vasilevsky again makes them a better team. Even if it was Johansson that was starting, he's put together a decent season, so it's not the end of the world. But I don't know. The Kings, yes, they're a better team on the road.
They haven't been as of late.
They haven't been as of late, and Tampa Bay is still a better team at home. So I'll take the rested team with the better goalie.
There we go. So, all right. So I'm on the under. Chris is on the regulation victory. I like that play as well. Moving on, we got the Wild at the Blue Jackets. Another 7 o'clock East. A lot of 7 o'clocks tonight, folks. This is going to be Jesper Wallstedt versus Jet Greaves. So 2 of the younger, hotter goalies, hot shot goalies in the league there. Wild are on a 5-game winning streak, longest active in the NHL alongside the Hurricanes. Columbus allowed 4 power play goals to Minnesota back on October 11th, but won that game 7-4. So that's just a weird one right there. Like, how does that? We allowed 4 power play goals, but we won. Okay. This feels like a trick that Minnesota, despite being a much better team here, they're only minus 120 road favorites. I found it at minus 114 at Circa. Total 6.5. Columbus even money at home. It feels like a trick, but Columbus lost 5 in a row before beating Anaheim in overtime the other night. Jet Greaves 6th straight start. Minnesota's 2nd best in goals allowed, while Columbus is 4th worst. I something feels fishy about this, but I'm taking the bait.
Listen, sometimes Vegas knows. Vegas just knows something. Here's what I'll say. Yes, Columbus has given up a lot of goals, but usually Elvis Merzlikins is in goal for them. So I'm going to take the under 6 here. The Minnesota Wild on the road are not exactly, the most hotshot offense. And yes, 4 power play goals against is a lot, but Jesper Wallstedt has proven that he can stop the puck. So even if he gets bombarded, right, he could be the difference maker. I'm banking on both goalies here being able to suppress that high offense on each side, right? So the Zach Werenski's on one side, the Kaprizov's on the other side. I believe both goalies can hold, keep it close. Maybe the only thing that hurts us here is an empty net goal. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Nice little 2-2 after 3 kind of thing. At worst, you get the push if it doesn't hurt as much, but I'm not taking the bait. I'll take the under.
All right. So he's got the under 6 at even money. I typed it as under 7, which you would have loved that bad. But I'm taking the bait here. I don't like, maybe Columbus shows up, like you said, sometimes Vegas shows something else, but like Minnesota right now, and yes, they aren't as strong on the road as they are at home. This is Columbus. They don't have they aren't playing the same way they played last year. This is a team that's probably not going to be in the playoffs, but yet again, that Metropolitan Division's wide open. Still in the 7 o'clock Eastern window, but game number 5 on the evening, the Maple Leafs at the Capitals, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop. Dennis Hildeby going against Logan Thompson. Toronto's won 4 of their last 5 road games, which they're 11 of 12 on the penalty kill during that period. Washington has a 3-game winless streak here. If you're looking for a money line play here, the Capitals are minus 155 home favorites. Toronto plus 130 on the road. Regulation victory, Capitals plus 105, Leafs plus 190. This is one of the 3 games I've got no play for here. I'm staying away.
No, I definitely have one here. The Leafs are frauds. This team just on the road, it's not as great. The offense is just not clicking. They were miserable against a Connor Bedardless Chicago Blackhawks. They were at home. They showed no care, and then it took everything changed in about 8 seconds. Right, so it was luck more than anything. But the 2 periods before that, they were miserable. So if they have that kind of start on the road against the Capitals, it's like it'll be too little too late. Caps, like you said, they've lost 3 in a row. I understand that they're still a very good team on home ice. Logan Thompson is a much better goalie than whoever the Leafs decide to trot out tonight. I think it's high to be. I mean, Hill to be like it does. Like you know what I mean? Like it doesn't. If this comes, this will probably be a tighter game. I'm still going to take Washington in regulation. I'll take my chances, even if it's a tighter game. But I just, yeah, no, I don't want to. I don't want to trust the Leafs enough there.
Washington have been playing a little better. I might tell you on that, but I'm just, I just sometimes you look at a game and you're like, I want nothing to do with that one. That has that. Now, next up on the docket here, we got an original 6 matchup with the Blackhawks at the Canadians. This is going to be Spencer Knight versus Jakob Dobes. Chicago's lost 5 of their last 7 against Montreal. Montreal has lost 8 of their last 11 home games here. Looking on the money line here, got Montreal minus 185 home favorites, Chicago plus 154 road dogs, total 5.5 here. I've got, maybe I would probably play the over 5.5, but both teams are so inconsistent as of late. I'm leaving it alone, but I will say lean over 5.5.
Listen, a Connor Bedardless Blackhawks team. Here's the problem with the Montreal Canadiens. They do not shoot the puck enough. They refuse to shoot. This is a team that is being bailed out by their power play because their 5-on-5 metrics are not very good. I am not swallowing 180 on the money line, not for the Montreal Canadiens. That's just not the route I want to take. I believe Spencer Knight starts as well this game.
Correct.
Jakob Dobes goes the other way. Both. Like Dobes had a little bit of a correction there. He seems to have been playing better. Spencer Knight probably keeps it close. It can go either way here. This could be an absolute blowout, or this ends up being like a 2-1 game. Here's what I'll say. The Montreal Canadiens love to play at extra time. Like they love to go past 60 minutes. Win in regulation, the Montreal Canadiens don't enjoy that. I'm gonna take the tie here.
Plus 310 draw.
Yes. Somebody's winning, but it's in overtime. The Montreal Canadiens love to go to overtime. They love it. Once they get there, they figure it out. But this team doesn't shoot enough. These are 2 low event offenses. It's going to overtime. I don't know how I don't know what it's going to be. It could be 2-2 or 5-5. I don't know yet, but it's going to overtime because the last 2 wins they've had haven't. So they're basically due here. The Montreal Canadiens need to go past regulation. I'm taking them to go to overtime.
So 7 o'clock puck drop, which means I might hear a loud shout from Montreal if it goes to overtime at about 9:25 Eastern time tonight. So see how that
sounds
goes.
about right. That's exactly how this is going to go. The shots will be 12-10 Blackhawks after 40, and I'll just be sitting there going, "What's happening here?"
Or you're going to get what's going to happen like last Tuesday night where you had 4 games go to overtime with like 14 seconds or less. You're going to have the game going to overtime, and somebody's going to get one with like 1.2 on the clock or something like that.
Can't have Dakota Joshua coming out here ruining the fun for me, all right? Let's just take this. You know what? Let's just skip 60, go straight to overtime. Play 10 minutes of 5-on-5, first team to 10 minutes of 3-on-3, first team to score wins. That's it. Wrap it up. Go home.
Sure, that's what the people who paid the ticket prices in Montreal really want tonight is to get a condensed version of a hockey game. That's exactly what they got. We move on past the 7 o'clock Eastern window. We're into the 7:30, the Hulu game tonight, Flyers at Sabres. And listen, I'm a big fan of trying to get every team nationally televised or on streaming or whatever, but getting them a marquee game. We just had Flyers Sabres as a marquee game a couple Why? Out of all, you had 10 games to pick, and this is the one you're going to stagger tonight to be exclusive, so we can't cheat during the intermissions and whatever. Anyway, Flyers Sabres 7:30 Eastern here. It's going to be Samuel Urson versus Alex Lyon. Looking on the money line here, we got the Flyers plus 124 road dogs. Sabres minus 148 home favorites. Total is 6.5 here. Flyers on a 5-game point streak, 11-13 on the penalty kill during that run. Tage Thompson, 5-game goal streak there. He's got 3 assists on that run, too. Philly beat him Buffalo 5-2 about 2 weeks ago. Sabres are returning from a 6-game road trip that started with the loss to the Flyers here. They have won 3 in a row, and Alex Lyon's pretty good, but I sense a little sluggishness from Buffalo out of the gate. Philly, they've gotten points in 5 straight, and I know they dropped 3 of those games in there, but it was an overtime loss to Vegas and 2 shootouts to Carolina. So, Philly's playing much better hockey lately. Urson beat him last time. Philly on the money line, I got him at plus 114 here, but, now up to plus 124. I wish I had waited. I like that play.
Man, the more I think about it, the more I hate myself. But the Sabres finally did one good thing, which was move on from Kevin Adams, because that experiment is bad. And they brought in Jarmo Kakalainen. And if Jarmo has taught us anything, it's that he's willing to shake up a roster. He's willing to do stuff. Terry Pegula was at practice recently. I think he just discovered that he is the owner of a team and where they practice.
A few years late to the party, but hey,
few years late. It sounds around the team that they're pretty happy that Adams isn't around anymore. Maybe that's a weight lifted on it. Maybe the guys are just feeling good. But Yarmo's there, and if these guys want to keep playing together, they got to start believing that they can do something. So I will not swallow the money line on the Sabres because I'm not that crazy. I will take them in regulation, though. I think this, again, Alex Lyon has been good. There's been some rumblings that maybe he finds a new home. We should be fair because, ship him off somewhere where you can have fun. Samuel Ersson is okay, but not great. The Flyers are a low event team. The Sabres are bad, but they're surprisingly better at on home ice. So I know it's been sluggish, but this feels like we've turned a page. You know what I mean? That old regime is no longer there. Yarmo's there. Everybody, let's see what happens with Lindy Ruff. Maybe he's a little bit worried that his second stint in Buffalo won't be as long as his first one. So there's a lot of guys who have things that have to be proven here. So it starts tonight, an opponent that they can beat, right? The Flyers are nothing special. Go out there, pound your opponent, show your new GM that you want to be in Buffalo for some reason, or show him that you're so good you want to be somewhere else.
I'll say this. And the Sabres are not a team that I care about one way or the other, but it has been entirely too long since they've been a good team that goes to the playoffs or has hope to go to the playoffs. That fan base, listen, they deserve something better than what they've gotten over the last decade. I mean, it's tough to have get a guy like Jack Eichel in the draft, hey, sucking paid off, and then you watch him walk off to Vegas and win a Stanley Cup because he can't be managed properly in Buffalo. So,
listen, teams stay bad because of poor management, right? Pegula came in, started swinging the money, and we're doing all the wrong things. And listen, they've had the players. The players have been there, right? Let's not forget, Sam Reinhart was part of that team. Then he heads over to Florida, and now he's got 2 Stanley Cups, and he's filling the net. So I feel bad for the fans. 1, because you have to live in Buffalo. 2, because you probably deserve better, but management won't give it to you because of the incompetence behind it. So, again, apologies to the fans and living in Buffalo, but when you have poor leadership, right, it trickles down. That's what it is. And yes, they have a couple of players there. I mean, I think Tage Thompson will look great in a Habs uniform. If Yarmo's there's things I want to do, buddy, let me guide you. Let me help you. We can set over some prospects that way. But
here's the other thing about Kekalainen, too. He's got experience managing a team that maybe is not a destination or maybe doesn't have the wallet size that other franchises that maybe Pegula opens it up a little bit now. Like you said, maybe if Kevin Adams is out of the building and coincidentally this guy is starting to hang around again, maybe he starts putting a little more money into the team, but we'll see.
Didn't he give out the contract for Johnny Gaudreau? Yeah. I believe so. And you convince, I get leaving Calgary is one thing, but he convinced he got enough to say, hey, come over to Columbus, where every player was like, I don't want to waive my no trade clause.
I mean, Johnny also wanted to come back to play close to that area of the country, so that also helped too. Because if you're not going to play in Philly or Jersey or Pittsburgh, that's your next.
You're telling me you couldn't sign a contract at any of those teams? Like,
Oh, yeah.
you went to Columbus. You know what I mean? So some of that has to be of Jarmo Kekalainen selling the idea of saying, hey, this is a place that you may want to be. So I believe he can change this. We just got to find out if he's going to change it for the better or for the worse, because he's also the guy who, he went out and he acquired, Matt Duchene, and there was all those guys at that deadline for Columbus that are trying to make that run. Then it didn't work out, and all those guys went somewhere else. So
3 games to go here on this slate here. Rangers Blues, 8:00 Eastern. Rangers are winless in 5 of their last 6 games, only 10 goals scored in that span. 6 of the next 7 games are on the road, and that's good because they lead the NHL with 12 wins away from Madison Square Garden. Looking on the money line tonight, the Blue, that's regulation values there. Rangers plus 115, Blues plus 180. Looking on the actual money line, though, Rangers minus 148 road favorites. St. Louis plus 124 home dogs. Total of 5.5 here. I'm going to swing for the fences tonight. Rangers puck line plus 180. Rangers struggles at home are bordering on infuriating at this point, but the director of travel must be doing a hell of a job picking their hotels on the road. I don't know what it is, but the Rangers are a different team on the road than they are at home. The home versus road scoring splits have been well documented by now. Blues are 3rd worst in goals allowed per game, 2nd worst in goals scored per game. Maybe the money line is a little too juiced at this point, but I feel like the Rangers at this point, like if they were going to have a spot where they teed off and looked good again, coming off an embarrassing 3-0 home loss to who is now the worst team in the league, the Vancouver Canucks, this is it right here. Like if it's a 1-game road trip, so this is purely a business trip. This is get on the plane, get to St. Louis, take care of business, and go back home. So it may sound crazy, but if there's a night that you're going to try and take the Rangers on the puck line, tonight's the night to do it. And covering, not getting.
Well, the good news is I'm assuming the traffic in St. Louis is a lot easier. So Mika Zibanejad probably shows up to the arena on time. Here's what I will say as well. I relegated the Rangers when they lost to Vancouver because I was like, how dare you do that to me, right? Like, how dare you believe? I had benched Thatcher Demko in a couple of my leagues. There's no way he's picking up the win here. Lo and behold, of course he did. So I lost out on a shutout. Thank you, Rangers. Having said that, the definition of insanity is repeating an action over and over again, expecting a different result. And I am insane. So I'm going to take the Rangers. I'm going to take their money line. You can get it at 140 over at 365 still. So that's tolerable for me. I can't trust them to win by 2 because I can't trust the Rangers. And I also can see this game going past 60 because, water is wet. The Blues are miserable, but listen, they came off a 1-0 win against the Winnipeg Jets, who we should just take that team, send them back to Atlanta at this point. Like if that's what we're giving us, take right off first jet right out of town, buddy. Listen, you're not losing 1-0 to Joel Hofer at home. Okay. But yes, Bennington has not played well. The Blues give up a ton of goals. They don't generate a ton of offense. I support everything you said about this being a good spot for the Rangers. I'm just waiting for them to let me down. I'm not sure how, but I'm waiting.
So there was regarding tailing or fading teams. I'm staying away from Utah Mammoth for a while because in 3 straight weeks I've either attacked, faded, or attacked, and I've gone the wrong way on them. So I'm avoiding the Mammoth for a while, kind of like the way you'll probably avoid the Rangers if they screw you tonight after this one. But no, yes, I could go plus 115 in regulation and have a little bit safer, and but if they're going to win in regulation, I think they get 2. I think they'll get an empty netter there. So
if the Rangers lose tonight, I need you to remember this moment and save me the next time I believe in them. I need you to just run this again and be like, remember this time, and then I'll come back to my senses.
I will jot the time and everything down. So there we go. We're both on the Rangers tonight. I got him on the puck line. He's got him on the money line. Next up, Kraken at the Flames. Seattle winless in 9 of their last 10. Calgary's won 4 of their last 6. 16 of 18 on the penalty kill during that stretch. It's going to be Dustin Wolf going for the Calgary Flames. Let me refresh the starting goalies here because the last time I looked, Seattle had not announced one yet. Let's see. Still nothing yet, so I guess we'll assume Joey Decord. This is a stay. If you want them on the money line, Calgary -175, Seattle +145. Totals 5.5 here. This is a stay away spot for me, but I don't see a such scenario why Calgary should be so heavily favored. Again, yeah, I know the Kraken have struggled. I mean, you're looking to play something a little bit late, maybe the Kraken, but I'm not touching it.
Listen, I would ask Lean Lambert, what's going on, but apparently as long as if you're not working for the Kraken, you're not allowed to have any questions. So I'm not swallowing with the Calgary Flame -170. Are you kidding me? Not in this economy. We're not doing that. Absolutely not. I know that, they're better on home ice, and I get that the Kraken are a flaming pile of terrible. I know they're low event. Everything about Kraken hockey right now is boring. They are what the New York Islanders used to be. Like the new New York Islanders are the Seattle Kraken. At no point do I watch them and get excited about Kraken hockey. Like the arena is fun.
I want to go see that arena. Yeah,
absolutely. I would love to go to the arena and not watch the Kraken. Like that would be a dream, I guess.
And the one win in that run was a 3-2 overtime victory against a Kings team, which in hindsight is struggling going back to when they got that win.
I want nothing to do with the Kraken. I want nothing to do with the Flames. I don't even want to watch this game.
The last time the Kraken won a game by more than a goal was November 15th against the Sharks at home.
Well, it's been a minute.
That was the last time they won by more than a goal.
More than one. And I mean, San Jose on the road is definitely an experience.
Yeah, well, that game was in Seattle too, so it's like a home.
So. There you go.
Yeah, so we'll see. So there we go. Kraken and Flames, nothing there for either of us. So unfortunately, we got to do this one again.
Listen, if somebody out there is wagering either Canadian, US, Euros, whatever you're wagering on this game, just explain your theory to us. Maybe we're missing something.
Maybe we're missing something. Seattle, that's not a game I'll be throwing on. Stars at Sharks, 10 o'clock Eastern, the nightcap and the final puck drop of the evening. Stars -198 road favorites, Sharks +164 home dogs. Totals 5.5 here. Goaltending matchup's going to be Jake Ottinger versus Alex Nedeljkovic. Dallas 7-1-2 in their last 10 road games, 11-2-4 on the road overall this year. Celebrini's got a 3-game point streak, 3 goals and 5 assists. We got a birthday bet alert here because Jake Ottinger, happy 27th birthday to the starting goalie to the Dallas Stars tonight. Listen, the fact that they got the Ducks tomorrow night, and if you said who was the better team, the Ducks or the Sharks, you'd say the Ducks, correct?
Yes.
They're starting Ottinger tonight, which goes to show you what they think of the way the Sharks are playing right now. Maybe it's because it's his birthday and they're just trying to do the right thing. But either, you want to do right things like birthday gifts, but not with NHL wins and losses. And Dosto's back, so it's not even like you're going to get a situation where, like, okay, you're going to play Mrazek tomorrow or so or whoever. We're like, all right, I'll take my chances there. There's some respect for the Sharks, but that's being said, Dallas beat them easily 2 weeks ago, 4-1. I know the Sharks have won 4 of 5. Delkovich looked good in his last start, but I think this is one of those situations where it's awesome that we're talking about the Sharks being potentially in the playoff mix in late December and not losing games 10-1, 11-1 back-to-back. I think this is a situation where you got a top-tier team playing a third-tier team. Going to be reminded of that. I'll take the Stars to win in regulation -120 here.
Did you say 5.5 total?
Yes.
With Alex Nedeljkovic in that?
That's what DraftKings has it at right now.
All right, DraftKings. I mean, listen, you don't have to, if you're going to hand out early Christmas gifts, I will take it. I will take 2 here. I will take 1 out of your page here. I am also going to go with Dallas in regulation. They're the better team. Let's not get it twisted, right? They should be able to win this. This is also a home game for the Sharks, and the Sharks play better at home, as do most teams, with the exception of the Rangers. So this gives Celebrini a little bit more space. Will Smith being hurt doesn't help. But listen,
that hurts them.
It does. But they play better at home. Ottinger's been a little bit everywhere. So maybe they're playing him in a spot where they want him to, like, not having to play on the back-to-back. They're giving him the easier start, trying to figure out his whatnot. I'll trust the Sharks at home a little bit more. I will. So I think they can clear 5.5. I think the Sharks can contribute 2 goals. Dallas probably wins like 4-2, 5-2 or something like that, right? Maybe we need an empty net goal to get there, but I will take the Stars in regulation because I think that is fair, and I'll also take the over 5.5. If it was 6, too much.
So interesting that you mentioned that because DraftKings is the only book that has this at 5.5 right now. I'm looking everywhere else at 6 across the board. So I guess some money's coming in on them that they want to, move it down a little bit. Maybe there are a lot of people betting that under. They're trying to move it down a little bit. Maybe that money has not showed up at places like Circa or Caesars or BetMGM. But the total I got no lean on here. But yeah, I think the Stars take care of business tonight. I'll actually be seeing the Dallas Stars play the Sharks in January when they come back for their second. That's going to be a family game. All 3 of us are going, so that'll be fun. That's also
you get to see Jason Robertson in person.
So I got it. So I got the Wild coming up on New Year's Eve, so I get to see Hughes and Kaprizov. Stars and Rangers in January. They've only got like a small handful of games in February because of the Olympics. I got Edmonton in March. I got Islanders and the Flyers, and then the Canucks in the home finale, which I gotta say, and I don't think the Sharks are going to the playoffs this year, but there is a small chance that Sharks Canucks, then I think it's the last home game, and I think they got 2 road games after that. That game could mean something.
Probably not.
Probably not.
But at least you get to watch. Listen, you get to see, Connor McDavid in town. You get to see all those, Kirill Kaprizov and now Quinn Hughes and Matt Boldy. That's pretty good. What I would kill to be able to get affordable tickets to watch high-end talent.
You could come to San Jose whenever you want, man. Well, I'm in Santa Rosa, but I'll drive down, no problem.
Listen, the tickets for tonight for Montreal and Chicago, they've dropped a little bit because there's no Connor Bedard in town. But prior to his injury, he'd have to dish out probably, if you were sitting, lower bowl, close to $350 a ticket, right? Now you can get maybe a set of 2, depending. I know it's last minute, maybe $450. It's a pretty good discount, $450 for both. So it's not terrible, but market's pretty volatile this time of year.
Well, no, Bedard also helps. If Bedard was in town, they're probably not getting a pair at $450.
Probably be a lot better, but that's what I'll have to do instead of selling a kidney to go to the Bell Center, pay $20 for a hot dog and parking. I just take all that money and fly out there, and because it's warm out there because it's not cold, right? So go there, enjoy, San Jose life, whatever that's like, and then head on back this way.
It can get cold at night, or you might need a jacket. Not cold by your standards, but you might need a jacket at night.
I would be wearing shorts. That's what I would, shorts and flip-flops.
Okay? Listen, buddy, let me tell you a little story here. So when I first moved out here, a friend of mine was like, hey, I got extra tickets to the Giants game. It was a late July 27th kind of night. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I showed up and I had shorts and a t-shirt. Like, well, be okay. I'm like, yeah, it's July 20th. I go to a Yankee or Mets game, July. Like I'd probably try to wear less if I could. There are pockets where because of where that stadium sits on the bay. Oh my, I've never been so cold in July in my life. Like it was just unbelievable. And I know you're sitting there probably like, oh, I grew up in the Northeast. I know cold. Maybe I've lost my tolerance for it after 9 years, but that was fresh after I moved. And like I tell people, if you're going to a Giants game, even in the summer at night, not during the day, but at night, bring something.
The Giants play outdoors,
right?
Last time I checked, an arena is indoors.
Right, but you got to walk from the parking lot, and sometimes I don't always get the parking at SAP Center because it's a little more pricey. Where I could park at like the hotel lot, like less than a 5-minute walk away for half the price. So if I don't have my daughter with me, then yeah, I go. You might get chilly on that walk. I don't know.
I just want you to know I have no sympathy.
Says the guy. I'm here in a t-shirt indoors, and you're wearing a hoodie indoors. So let's.
You know how cold it is here? We use first of all, it is today. It is a little bit warmer, right? It's 4 Celsius. Do the math, whatever that is. But last week it was like -12. You know what I mean? It's just,
so 39 degrees Fahrenheit.
These people move out to California and all of a sudden get the same people who go to Florida too. Like the snowbirds, they get soft. That's it. The skin doesn't handle it the same way.
No, I've probably lost a little bit of my fastball in that regard. I guess fastball, not the right word there. But nonetheless, that completes our Thursday night pucking preview on this edition of Total Hockey Now. This is definitely the last Total Hockey Now before Christmas. We're trying to figure out when we're going to come at you that last week of the year. So there's a small chance it's the last one of the year. But nonetheless, got to run through everything else we do around here. First up, Chris, fantasyalarm.com/NHL is where you find his picks and stuff other days of the week.
That is correct. I will be putting together the playbook for the Fantasy Alarm Saturday and Sunday, which means hopefully we're going to make some money in NHL DFS and a couple of bets that'll hit as well. If you don't want to tail along with me, I mean, Josh Wagner is absolutely just printing dollar bills at this time of year. So if you need Christmas money, there's no reason to not be following.
There you go. And also the Slapshot podcast, your most recent episode talks Quinn Hughes, among other things.
Quinn Hughes, right? The fantastic deal. What that means for Minnesota, what that means for the Canucks, a little bit as well about the Jerry and Skinner, all that winning stuff. You can go there. Next episode will drop Monday. Cool stuff coming that way. Got some fun stuff. I suggest you tune in, but I'm biased.
He's biased, but it's good stuff. I suggest you tune in as well. Ant's not here today, but you can check out his Mets coverage over at Subway to Shea, the Subway to Shea podcast. Myself and Jared at Mr. Jared Moore. We got one more episode coming your way in 2025. That'll be coming up on Monday, December 22nd. Talk a little NFL, talk a little NHL while we rip some packs. Also, you can find my picks other days of the week over at wizardsportspicks.com. And then you're heading home for the holidays, my friend, I believe, later this week.
I am. I'm going to go see my mom. I'm going to go be her favorite son. Now, before anybody asks, I am her only son. But,
hey, still applies. Still the favorite son.
I still got to be the favorite. You know what I mean? Still got to do my part. Mostly it's so she can see Milo. That's what most people want to hang out with the dog.
Yeah, I get it's probably more about the dog than you at this point, but at least you would own it, acknowledge it.
I understand the role.
No, that's it. And I get my mother-in-law is coming down. I don't got anything crazy going on for Christmas, so that'll be fun. But we'll still get you picks and content, throughout the week here leading up to the holidays. But we're at Fuzzy Chris 91. I am at Pucking Thoughts Adam Bernard. Back with you with an all-new episode of Total Hockey Now, the week of December 29th, here on the Total Hockey Now YouTube channel. Thank you, everybody. Happy holidays. Really appreciate the support, the watch, the likes, all that good stuff. Hope the holidays are great to you, and we'll talk to you on the other side of Christmas.